Welcome to Oriam Unlocked, the podcast that brings you an insight into the lives of student athletes, elite performers, and the people shaping the future of sport in Scotland. Brought to you from Scotland's Sports Performance Centre, we go beyond the stats and schedules to uncover the mindset, the motivation, and the moment that define the journey. This is Oriam Unlocked. Let's step inside. Hello and welcome to Oriam Unlocked, the podcast brought to you from Scotland's Sports Performance Centre. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined today by Andrew Goodall, a Heriot-Watt University Scholar and brand new British speed climbing record holder, which we'll get on to later. But Andrew, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, no worries.
How are you?
I'm really good, thank you. Yeah, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Looking forward to this. I mentioned to you that I know nothing about climbing, so I'm hoping this would be a bit of a lesson for me, a bit of a school day.
That's cool.
Getting a bit of knowledge. Let's just get started. We'll go into your journey so far. Can you share how you got into climbing? What age you were? What fascinated you about it at the first?
So basically, I started really quite young. It wasn't speed climbing specifically. It was so there's 3 disciplines in climbing. You got your boulder, top rope, and speed climbing.
Right.
Boulder lead and speed. Boulder's quite a bit shorter routes, and top rope's longer.
Yeah.
But you're tied in, and you're not going for speed. You're just trying to get to the top. So I did that when I was like about 3 years old. So I was pretty young. I obviously wasn't very good, but I started really early.
Did your parents have any influence on this?
Yeah. So my dad was originally in the RAF and did a lot of climbing trips with them, and I think he really enjoyed it. So basically, he took me when I was younger, and I kind of went casually. And then at about the age of 8, I did my first competition, and I Scottish, and I won it, which is a bit of a surprise because I was pretty young, first comp ever, and I got Scottish champ, and I was it just came out of nowhere.
Yep.
So and then climbing throughout the years, got injured in lockdown actually, so I just stopped for quite a while. Came back, felt like I was at square one. Obviously, you can work that back super quick, but I decided to try out speed climbing, and that was about 4 years ago now, and I've just been doing speed climbing ever since, predominantly. So yeah, it's basically.
Do you feel like speed climbing is sort of your main love now? Is it switched over these few years? Obviously, you've went through since COVID. You mentioned. Is it been that new sport that you've been loving?
Yeah, I would say so. Speed climbing is very dynamic. It's a lot more about momentum, carry. So generating a lot more force and just doing it as fast as you can. And it's a lot less. You got to think about a boulder problem a lot more. Slow it right down. I realised I was growing up, I always preferred more dynamic movements on boulder as well, jumping between the holds. So it felt right to kind of just start doing speed climbing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it all sort of fell into place for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Brilliant.
Immediately I was like, yeah, this is a lot better.
Yeah. So. Well, it's clearly worked out. As I mentioned in the opening, you recently broke the British speed climbing record under 5.3 seconds. Is that correct? 5.3 seconds?
It was the British record. 5.55.
Right.
5.54, sorry.
Okay.
Right now. So yeah, that's the British record. And that's basically, I ran that in a comp. So for a British record to count, it has to be in an official comp, if that makes sense.
Yep.
I can't just run it in training and send a video and be like,
this is the brand new record. Yeah. Well, could you talk us through that day, that moment? But that obviously it happens in the blink of an eye. That's the thing with speed climbing is, as you mentioned, it's 5 seconds, 6 seconds, and it's over. What was it like in the lead up to that day? Did you have any different feeling on that day? Did you have any confidence?
So I was definitely quietly confident going into the comp. It's kind of an all or nothing one because basically it was the last comp, but the last international of the season. So I kind of and I'd been chasing the British record all season. I was really going for it. And I figured this is literally my last chance to get it this year. And has been the season goal, break the British record. So I just went all out in all of my runs. I get 2 practice runs and 2 qualifier runs. And it was on the last qualifier run that I ran it, and I beat it by 0.01 seconds. So
the finest of margins.
I was really cutting it close, but I did manage to get it, and obviously I was very happy.
Yeah.
Like season goal, and I achieved it in my last chance. So there's a lot of pressure built up, and
Did you realise it right at that moment when you hit the top? Did you know that it had broken, or did it take a few seconds?
It took me a second, because I didn't want to celebrate.
Yeah.
I didn't realise, oh wait, it's not actually under, but no, I was like, oh yes, it's under, and then I was going crazy on the way down. So yeah, it's...
Excellent. What was it like to overcome that challenge? You mentioned it was your season goal. You've been training for years for it. What are the challenges that you sort of overcome to get to that stage? As I mentioned, I'm sort of... Climbing is new to me, so the mentality and the preparation for it is quite different. I imagine it's not sort of similar to your typical team sports. It's all individual. It's very quick. What were those challenges like to overcome?
So it is an interesting one, because technically unless you qualify into finals, you only get 4 runs to do it per comp, and I did 6 internationals this year, so that's not many chances, to be honest. So it's all about being able to run your absolute best from basically almost like a cold start. Obviously I warm up, but I do not get to get on the speed wall on that day until my first practice run. And then I've got 4 attempts to obviously break quite a tough time. So yeah, especially at the start of the season, to break the British record, I would have been having to run near perfect runs, which is obviously, anyone that does sport is going to know, running near your best perfectly first attempt is really, really difficult.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's definitely a challenge. I think as my PB is actually 5.33 at the moment. So as that got a bit lower, it became easier to run a comfortable British record, if that makes sense. I just had to do it in a comp, and that was my struggle all season. Yeah. But it did go. So yeah.
Did it feel like it was quite a gradual build up to get to that stage, or do you feel like there was a moment where everyone sort of clicked, even over the last few years maybe? Do you feel like you gradually seen yourself getting better, improvements every day? Was there a day where you thought, oh, this is it?
Yeah, so I definitely obviously noticed improvement. I think it was end of just the start of first year. I'd finally broken the sub-6 barrier, which was a really big thing for me then, because I'd been chasing it since I'd started, basically. And then I did it in comp, actually. I had comp adrenaline, and I just ran up 5.95. It was really good. I was the second person in Britain to actually go under.
Wow.
Go under 6. So
that's incredible.
That was a really good.
And that was in first year of university.
That was first year.
Wow. So 18 years old were you?
I was 18 at the time.
Right.
Yeah. So it was really good. That was one of my favourite moments that I've had. And since then, so it's one thing running that speed in comp, but running it consistently that's a whole other thing. So I've noticed my consistency definitely got quite a bit better. In training, I'm running 5.5s pretty regular now, some sub 5.5s, which is obviously important for comps. If you can bash out a 5.5 every run and training, you should be able to do it in a comp. Yeah. Should be able to, but yeah.
Should be in the big word there. Yeah. How do you approach the sort of mental preparation of this sport? It's, as I say, it's a individual sport. It's you yourself out there. You have 6 seconds thereabouts, and then it's over. What's the mental preparation like going into this?
So I usually see it kind of differs person to person. For myself, I like to stay quite calm and collected, just quietly confident. In warm-up, you see me doing almost short bursts of sprints or really fast moves on the practice wall or the boulder wall, just to almost mimic that 5 seconds of pull, if that makes sense. But on the outside, I try and stay quite calm and collected. If I stress out too much, chances are I'm going to false start, or I might miss a foot, might fumble the hold. So for myself, I stay really quite calm. You do see some athletes getting really, really hyped up though. Music blaring in their ears and just getting really hyped up, making noise. So it's kind of a mix for everyone. But myself, I usually stay a bit more calm. So
it leads me in actually quite nicely to our 2 easier questions. We ask every athlete that comes on this, what is your pre-game, pre-match, pre-climb ritual, and what do you have any pre-climb songs as well? What's your go-to song?
Oh, I actually usually what was it? I'd say the chain by Fleetwood Mac. It's a really good one.
Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm feeling the hype isn't quite there, I kind of shift into a little bit more metal.
Yeah. Hardcore.
Yeah. But that's only if I'm really, really trying to hype myself up.
Yeah.
But yeah, usually stuff a little bit more chill that I can just sort of listen to in the background is great.
Yeah.
Pre-run it gets a bit more crazy with the music though. So
yeah, as you mentioned, you want to keep calm and collected, sort of going through
for sure.
You don't want to hype yourself up.
I don't want to be getting too hyped too early, or I'll be shaking getting onto the walls.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We'll move on to your university life. You mentioned first year you went straight into climbing. You'd ran sub-6 in first year and things. You were studying sport and exercise science at Heriot-Watt University.
Yes.
How has that journey been? Was it something that you were always interested in growing up? As it sort of went hand in hand with obviously being a scholar here at Heriot-Watt?
So, well, I was in school and I did PE quite a bit through school, and I've always really enjoyed that. Especially with doing my climbing outside, I realised I would really quite like to further my education, kind of coinciding with the sport I do all the time.
Absolutely.
If that makes sense. So yeah, that was kind of the decision behind it. And I would say I've definitely been pretty set on that decision for quite a while now.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a...
Have you been enjoying it? Obviously, you meant on our walk through here, you said that it's been quite intense, a lot of assignments running up. Have you enjoyed university life so far?
I am really enjoying it, and I think the fact that I have so many assignments really helps me almost lock in. I can I need to force myself to sit down and do work, which I think is really good, because otherwise I would just be doing nothing.
I'll just be passing you by.
Yeah, exactly. So, so I think it's really good. Obviously I got year 3 steps up quite a bit, but so far I'm handling it. On top of the training, so yeah, it's going pretty good.
How has Heriot-Watt sort of supported you through this athletic journey? Obviously, we know the scholarship programmes that run at university. You get that sort of academic flexibility, things that go alongside with competition and stuff. Are there any particular coaches, facilities within the university, within Oriam, that have helped you develop over the last few years?
Well, I mean, Jen, sports scholarship, the coach for sports scholars, really helped refine my technique, especially in my main lifts. I was really bad at RDL. I was so bad at RDL at first, but yeah, again, through the last couple of years I've just been refining, which is really good for training outside of the scholarship. I can write my own session plans now, and write my own structured training plans, which is really, really helpful. On top of that, you mentioned the academic flexibility. That is so good. It's so helpful. I actually, when I broke the British records in Laval in France, I had an assignment due that week. And obviously I was going to be away 4 or 5 days, and I wouldn't have been able to do much work.
Absolutely.
Of course. It was a pretty full-on weekend. So yeah, I managed to get it extended by a week, which was just so good. That genuinely saved me. So very, very grateful for the academic flexibility. That's
brilliant. Really I think the scholars that I've spoke to, we had Jenna Penman on last month as well. She mentioned the academic flexibility, and being part of it is just so beneficial. It helps everyone else around you, and it just makes you have a bit more freedom to focus on different aspects. Is that something you'd say you get to spend a bit more time looking at things?
For sure. I'm not stressing as much about deadlines. If I have a big comp up, I can kind of split my focus 50-50, and it usually pays off.
You see the benefits. Brilliant. We're going to look to the future. I don't think it's a secret that you're aiming for the next Olympics, hosted in LA in 2028. How has that been over the last few years? Has that been something that's you've had your sights set on for a long time? Is it sort of ramped up a bit more the older you're getting? What's your vision for that?
It's definitely, obviously, athletes like to set short-term goals and long-term goals. This is a long-term goal that's been since I started. I realised speed climbing was in the Olympics, and I'm like, I've got to go for this. This was just after Tokyo Olympics in 2020. speed climbing was on, but it was like a mixed event. But in Paris 2024, it was its own event, and we had speed climbers doing it.
Yeah.
And obviously that would have been great to do that event, but I was just a bit young and a bit new to the sport. So 2028 was the one that I really had my mind set on.
Yeah.
And I'm still very, very psyched to try my absolute best to get there. But obviously, Olympics is quite hard, and getting into it is also really difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be...
How does that work actually? Is it... So a GB team will go for the Olympics for speed climbing. Do you do trials? Is there people in and around the UK that you compete against?
So it's not actually an individual country that gets sent.
Right, okay.
There's almost, so it's quota places we get.
I see.
So for the 2024 Paris Olympics, they basically ran Olympic qualifiers throughout 2023.
Right.
And near the end of 22. So they do these qualifier events per continent, if that makes sense. So Europe, they had 2 Olympic qualifiers, and then they take the top 2 from each of those 4 people get in.
I see.
Making it really, really hard. I basically got the top 5 in Europe.
Yeah, it's a very narrow margin.
Very, very tough.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, GB team do not get immediate spaces.
Right.
Same with every nation. So definitely makes it a lot harder.
Yeah.
But yeah,
bit of work towards it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, it's very interesting. Obviously, it's in the Olympics now. It's growing. It's becoming a larger sport. Do you see it continuing to develop over the next few years? Do you have a sort of a vision of what speed climbing will look like in 2028, 2030 and beyond?
Yeah, so it's definitely evolving. It's a pretty new sport. Yeah. So it was about 20 years old now, I'd say. So a lot younger than a lot of these other sports that are in the Olympics.
Absolutely.
Still seeing records. So first thing we're going to see is a shift in record, like world records. A couple years ago, 4.9 seconds would have been seen impossible. Basically, It was like, no one's going to run under 5 seconds. The world record's 4.65 now, I believe.
Wow.
So it's really stepped up.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to continue to step up. Obviously, it's going to exponentially slow down those record breaks, and we're going to start seeing milliseconds.
2 seconds.
So yeah, it's going to change in that aspect.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about changing the actual route itself. Currently, it's the same route every single year.
Yep.
And there's a bit of a controversy. Do we change the route and make it different? Which would obviously make any past record immediately
I see.
irrelevant, which is, again, difficult, but it also keeps it interesting.
Yeah.
Personally, I find it interesting on the current route, so I'm actually not wanting it to get changed.
Okay.
I want to break 5 seconds first. And
then, on that wall.
Yeah,
and then,
exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I think quite a few changes like that will happen throughout the years. It got crazy views in 2024, actually. I believe someone posted a reel that got 300 million views.
Wow.
So
that's massive. Yeah,
it's actually one of the highest viewed in any of the Olympics sports. So that was a good one.
I think it's such an interesting one for people like myself who are outsiders to it. Seeing it is mind-blowing, which is probably why it's sort of ramped up those types of views and engagement. Yeah, no, it's... I think it's quite a spectacle. It's quite a tall wall. Yeah. And then there are 2 people racing up at the same time. It's easy to understand. First one to the top wins. And yeah, it is quite a cool watch. I know what you mean by it looks difficult, because sometimes I'm standing at the bottom of the wall. I'm like, there's no way. Up there in 5 seconds. It's a particularly cold day like that. It's not happening. Yeah. So yeah, but I think that will be the reason. It's like a 100-meter sprint. It's easy to understand. Yeah. So it's enjoyable for people to watch on a smaller scale of the Olympics before it can sort of ramp up. Excellent. Yeah. What would it mean to you personally if you did get to that stage where you are on that world stage? You know, there's every eyes on the Olympics. It's one of the biggest sporting events possible. What would that mean to you personally? So, well, again, really, really long-term goal. I can't quite say how I'd react just yet. I would be the happiest, but quite possibly the best moment of my life. Yeah. It's pretty big high that I'd be chasing, but I'm unsure yet if I want to keep it going for the 2032, but again, just going to absolutely try my best and see what happens. But I know I will be
very, very happy if I do even qualify. So
fighting for those goals, but without having too much expectation, it can be quite the best way to do it.
I think so. I think so. Trying your absolute best, but not aiming your entire life towards it. I think is the best way to do it.
Just enjoying.
Exactly. Just enjoying the process. Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. What advice would you give to anyone, not even climbers, sort of young athletes coming through? It's a very specialised sport that you do. Is there advice that you pass on to someone who is coming up through the ranks, who is working their way in their own sport to really get to that stage where they want to take that next step?
It can be a tricky one. I think what I did was you have to really enjoy what you're doing, basically. And I was just almost at the wall all the time, just training loads and loads.
Obsessed.
Yeah, I think it's important to find the balance between pushing as hard as you can, but also not overtraining. Okay. There's quite a fine line there. You overtrain, you're going to burn out. Yeah. So first things first, if you're starting out, finding that balance is going to be crucial if you're going to improve in the most optimal way possible, I guess. Yeah. If you train every day of the week for months, burn out, then you won't want to do it for a while. So it really does just take a bit of a plan. Writing training plan is always good. Yeah. Know what you're going to do coming into it, so you don't burn out or undertrain.
Knowing what you're going to come into.
For sure.
Absolutely. What's next for you in the near future? Obviously, we mentioned the short term and the long term goals. University, next season coming up. What would be your goals for this next 12 months, 18 months?
So I've got university basically over winter, standard months, and then climbing, the seasons usually run from about March to November, so that's summer period. So I'm basically going to be training as hard as I possibly can, more in the gym actually, trying to get stronger and faster, while doing a bit of training on the wall. But obviously there's that study and training balance that I got to achieve. Yeah. So I'll be doing that over winter, and then it's full speed climbing modes from March onwards. Yeah. Shifting that mentality straight towards. I've got quite a few comps next year. First one's in Wujiang, going to Bali actually. So I'm going to do a double trip, fly out to Wujiang, compete, fly to Bali, compete. In Bali it's really cool. It's just like a beach resort. Wow. Speedwell. So.
Not a bad sport to be involved with. Sounds like something I might have to get into. Sounds okay. Well, listen, Andrew, thank you very much for coming in and speaking to us today. Wish you the best of luck for the next season, for university, and we'll be cheering you on and hope you get to the next Olympics.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.